Welcome to Good Mythical More. We're gonna guesstimate our way to entertainment for you today. How many of a something would it take to measure another something?
Yes.
Like footlongs to get to where? Footlongs?
Mississippi River.
Of the whole Mississippi River.
We had a whole idea for a show about this.
Yep. So this is your time to shine.
Okay. But first, we're donating $1,000 to Inner City Arts to aid in their mission to engage young people in the creative process in order to shape a society of creative, confident, and collaborative individuals. Please join us in giving at inner-cityarts.org/donate.
Yes. Thank you for being your mythical best. Stevie, are we starting with that one?
No, we can.
Yeah,
Which one? You want to start with the Subway something?
footlongs.
Footlong, okay. How many Subway footlong sandwiches would it take to equal the length of the Mississippi River?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a foot-long sub, let's just say it's approximately a foot. How many feet are in the Mississippi River is the question.
Don't think out loud.
There's 5,000.
Don't think out loud.
There's 5,000. I need to whisper out loud at least. There's 5,000.
I'm also going to give you some helpful information here.
I can't do math anymore.
We said when we were doing the measuring of the sandwiches earlier this year that they were 12.5 inches long, the footlongs.
I think the rounding error. I literally cannot do double-digit multiplication. Can I use my calculator?
The Mississippi.
Yes.
Well, can't you? You can't do that. Well, especially when it's times 11.
Yeah, I know, but like I know that, but like if you do this, right? Okay, so
I'm fine with that.
Just do it and
this
move
would be
it over.
0, and this would be 8, and this would be 2, and this would be 5.
Well, and then just move it over.
And then you take this.
Yeah, and then
and
another
do
0.
Another 0, 8, 2, 5, and you add those together.
Yeah. So you think that the Mississippi River
No, I'm going to add 2 more zeros to that.
is
if that's what you're asking.
Is 11.
No, don't say it out loud.
1,100 miles?
Okay. I said that is 5,685,323 footlongs.
I said it was 11.7 million subs.
It's 11.8 million.
Holy moly!
Yes! What did I do?
It's 11.9-ish. It's 11,860,920.
Hold on, how long is the Mississippi River? Because the
Mississippi River is 2,340 miles
And
long.
I estimated that the Mississippi River was 2,200.
But the whole country is 2,500 miles
No.
east and west.
Oh, I thought it was 5,000. So I halved that.
That's what
the Mississippi River is winding and is
it's not a straight line.
Well, I lucked into it. I was wrong.
Because I
thought it was 5,000 miles.
I thought it was like half of the. No, it's 2,500 miles across the country, right?
So I was wrong about that, but I was right about this.
Wow,
I was very right. So let me keep that going. 2,200 miles.
How wide is the country, though? I need to know for my own purposes, planning purposes.
2.892.
Oh, so it's more than 2,500. It's like 29, almost 2,900. Okay.
How long would it take to walk from the Alaska State Capitol to the San Diego Zoo?
So from Juneau or Anchorage? Anchorage.
Alaska to where?
San Diego Zoo.
Anchorage is not the capital of Alaska.
I don't think narrowing it down.
Why
to a
didn't you tell us
specific
what
city.
the capital of Alaska was? Why didn't you just tell us?
Okay.
Stevie?
Well, because it was a specific building, the Alaska State Capitol,
Oh, the building.
but it is in Juneau.
Yeah, I was trying to start with. How long would it take to walk?
So the way the TV show Guesstimators would have worked is we would walk up to people on the street and we would ask them questions. It was like cash cab, and they would have to make a quick split decision. But it would be like, how many windows on the Empire State Building? If you can get within 100 windows, you win $1,000. It was like that. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. Okay. 1,267 hours.
What? I was thinking that you would sleep every night, I guess. 11 months, 21 days, and 3 minutes. But that's sleeping every night.
Well, you're not sleepwalking, are you?
No.
How long does it take to walk? Just walking time.
Yeah, but I'm sleeping every night.
Okay.
So, can you take that into account?
How many hours a day are you walking?
Yeah, and my answer's in hours.
Oh, you want me to divide that by... You're the director. Why you arguing about the math?
It just fundamentally doesn't work.
Okay.
I'm more interested if our assumptions were right.
I can't do it, Stevie. Nick, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think it's going to take a year to walk that far if you're like a real person.
Yep. Link understood the question slightly differently.
I pictured like
trying
Forrest
to-
Gump running across America.
I was just taking the walking time. Not
Okay,
the
we
camping.
translated what we think that you meant, Link, which would be over 8,000 hours of time.
Okay, thank you. 8,000 hours.
The answer is 637 hours.
That's all?
It's 2,370 miles.
Oh, see, I said it was 3,800 miles because I thought 300 miles within Alaska, 2,500 miles to cross over Canada, then another 1,000 miles to get.
How many hours did you say again?
637.
So it's
That's
like
all?
basically half of my answer. So it's literally like half the miles. But how I said they would walk 3 miles per hour.
637.
How long? How fast do people walk?
Yeah, that's about right.
So 637 hours divided by, I'm only going to walk for 6 hours a day, which is 106 days.
Yeah, it'll take you a few months.
So 106
Forrest
days divided by 30 is 3.5 months. So I was way off. Okay.
How many times could you listen to the entire James and the Shame Nothing Left to Love EP during the walk from
Well, thank you for the
Times
free
Square
promo.
to
Thank you for
Bowie's
the
Creek
free
Elementary
promo.
School?
So it's the EP. It's shorter than you think it is. Do you know the runtime of the EP?
No, but I'll tell you the number that I'm using.
No, you don't have to. I'm going to estimate a number, and that's the only one that I might have a chance at. So I'm curious how close I am to that.
Okay.
You know what? While you figure that out, I'm just guessing how long his EP is. That's what I'm going to do. I know I'm changing the rules for me, but now I'm just going to talk about how long I'd be willing to walk while Rhett does his math. I'd be willing to walk. What's the longest I've ever walked? I've probably, without stopping? That's an interesting question, Link. Try to answer it. I bet you the longest I've ever walked, probably at Disney. You know, why on earth would I walk further anywhere else than at Disney? Like being on your feet? Well, I've been on my feet. I worked in a factory for a while, and I was on my feet the whole time. But they give you breaks. I think 10 hours at Disney. I think that's the farthest I've ever walked. You know? What's the farthest you think you've ever walked?
The longest I've ever walked straight?
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Stevie, what's the farthest you ever walked?
I think it's probably a similar situation where like you're like when we went to Vegas recently and we had to go back and forth and
We had to
kill
keep walking.
time for
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was
one
a-
of those
That was a
situations.
Disney-esque experience.
Yeah.
I didn't have good shoes on. I was pretty upset about that.
What?
A hike. I definitely walk more at Disney than I have on a hike.
The issue is you'd have to have like it'd be like a backpacking trip situation. You'd have the weight of the backpack and then that would factor in.
I think I screwed up the math.
I think Rhett's EP is 28 minutes long.
603 times.
So how long is his EP, first of all? You said 21 minutes?
I think an average, there's 6 songs at an average of 3.5 minutes. So that's 21.
You are very close. You could listen to it 538.2 times.
Oh.
It is nearly 23 minutes long.
Oh. See, if I had to go in 23, I would have gotten the math right. Because I said it was 603 miles from Bowie's Creek to New York.
That is so, it's 565.4 miles. You're really
good.
close.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
All right.
But you've done that trip, huh?
Jay said he did the math and he could only listen to it one time in the whole walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't want to listen to it over and over again. I mean, I don't listen to it anyway. It's mine. You can't listen to your
You
own
don't
music.
listen to it?
I listened to
get
it
it.
to make sure that it was what I wanted it to be, but, you know.
Right. It's not. It's for.
And then it becomes the world's.
Right.
What distance do sloths travel on average in a day measured in Twizzlers?
Measured in Twizzlers. All right, well, here's a Twizzler.
Twizzlers 8. What is that?
I think that's the length of a Twizzler. And that's what I'm doing.
8 inches?
How long's a Twizzler? And a sloth, a sloth will walk. I was just watching a video of a sloth fighting off a jaguar.
This is a sloth moving nonstop? Or is
They
this
can do that, by the
a
way.
sloth Forrest Gumping
This
and
is
stopping?
like
They go like that.
per day on average how much they travel.
Okay.
Per day. I mean, based on the footage I just saw, he was like under a log going like this, and then there was like a cat, a jungle cat, on top of the log, and he kept going up there and like stabbing the cat. Cat didn't know what to do. Didn't happen. And they stink too. I think they have like bacteria growing all over them. They definitely have moss growing all over them because they're so slow. But am I getting them confused with porcupines? That they have bacteria that, like, if you touch them, they'll kill you? I think that's a porcupine. Porcupine.
Yeah, sloths don't have spikes all over them.
They have growth. They have, like, vegetation growing on them because they're so slow. I think in a day, they probably walk... I'm going to be generous and say 40 feet a day. I'm going to say a Twizzler is...
I think that sloths are moving more than you think.
Over 12 times 40 per day.
On
is
average, though. Yeah, they're not going to be moving this much, are they?
280 divided by 12.
Yeah, they are.
Is
Yeah, they are. They'll make it.
200 and. Am I doing the math right? I'm gonna say 200 sloths.
200 sloths?
What unit am I working in?
Not
Twizzlers.
sloths.
What
I'll say it's going to take
Minutes.
200 sloths to make it.
minutes?
No, Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Yeah. How many? You know.
So how far do you think? You think they move 40 feet a day?
Yes.
Bro, I said they move 0.6 miles a day. I think it's 4,752 Twizzlers.
Well, I know they come to the ground to poop, but that doesn't cover any distance when they're moving vertically.
They got to move somewhere. They got to get going.
I mean, honestly, Link, you're pretty close. It's 184.5 Twizzlers.
See?
But I don't know how you did your math because
Well, I'll tell you, it's
they
right here. I
travel 41 yards a day on average.
You said 40 feet.
And you said 40 feet,
But then I
So-
said a Twizzler is 7 inches. How long is a Twizzler?
8 inches.
8 inches. See, I got that part right.
So 7 twelfths, that takes me to feet, and then times 40 a day will give me 280. 200 and over 12.
So what if a sloth is like
280 over 12
running
is,
from a fire?
and then I divided 280 by 12 and I got 220.
You almost made it. Hey, but you were very close.
Yeah.
That video you showed me, he was moving so fast. That's what I was going off
I mean,
of.
I know, and we were just watching it.
He crossed a river so fast, and I was like, oh, they can
Well,
move
he was
fast.
he was being attacked by a
They can make
jungle
it
cat.
a little more than half a mile. Wow. 40 yards.
And they only poop on the ground. So they do have to go down to poop, and then they come back up. That's when they're most vulnerable, just like us. Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
It actually just means that you're old and out of touch.
I'll have to remember that because I don't believe I'm going to get written off if somebody calls me a okay boomer.
Oh.